Let's start with prayer. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome all of you for today's class. Today's auspicious day of the appearance day of Srila Vyasadeva, Guru Purnima. Also today is the disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami. So today we'll discuss something very strong statements of Bhagavatam, which can penetrate through our hearts and realize us something, very strong words. So today's topic is Dhritarashtra quitting home. The Dhritarashtra, who's the brother of Pandu, father of Duryodhana, quitting home. He's leaving Hastinapura and going. That is the topic of discussion. Lot of learnings, lot of interesting points are going to come. So I shall share my screen. Please unmute and repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam
Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Please mute yourself. All of you can mute yourself. So this is the 13th chapter of Bhagavatam, first canto. Dhritarashtra quits home. The first verse, Suta Uvacha Vidurastirtha Yatrayam Maitreyat Atmano Gatim Jnatva Agatat Hastinapuram Taya Vapta Vivitsitaha. The Suta Goswami said, while traveling on the pilgrimage, Vidura received knowledge of the destination of the self from the great sage Maitreya. Then returned to Hastinapura. He became as well versed in the subject as he desired. So this is very interesting pastime. The Vidura left the palace of Hastinapura Actually, he had a great desire to acquire the spiritual knowledge. So he left the palace of Hastinapura at the right time. He, being the brother to Dhritarashtra, he gave good counsel to him. And he also urged Dhritarashtra that we should not do injustice to the sons of Pandu, the Pandavas. But Duryodhana did not like this. So he insulted Vidura. In the pretext of the insult from Duryodhana, the Vidura left the palace. After leaving the palace, he went to Prabhasa Kshetra, and from there he went to the Maitreya Rishi and heard all the Bhagavatam. Maitreya Rishi had directly heard from Sri Krishna. That is how he heard all the knowledge and he has come back. Who is this Vidura? The Vidura is actually Yamaraja. Yamaraja was cursed by one Rishi called Manduka Muni. Once upon a time, in a hermitage of a sage, Manduka, many thieves were assembled. Some thieves wanted to save themselves from the state police. They hid themselves in the hermitage of sage Manduka. When the police came to know the soldiers of the king, they immediately entered the hermitage of the sage Manduka, arrested not only thieves, they also arrested the Manduka Muni. And the judgment was passed to kill all of them. They were not just thieves, they were actually big criminals. The punishment was given. A lance was passed through their head to anus. By piercing in the lance, they were all supposed to be killed. This was the order of the king. So all the thieves were killed, criminals were killed like that. Now the next turn was Manduka Muni. The soldiers were about to kill Manduka Muni. Somehow king came to know that his men also arrested the Rishi. So he immediately came running and stopped and begged forgiveness from the Rishi. My dear Manduka Rishi, I have done great mistake. My police have arrested you without knowing who you are. Kindly forgive us. Manduka Muni was not satisfied. He thought, on what estimation Yamaraja decided to take me? What mistake I have done? If I have done a mistake, I can be killed. I can be taken out of this body and I will be taken to Yamapuri. But what mistake I have done? To ask this question, the powerful sage Manduka Muni went all the way to the Pitruloka, where Yamaraja's kingdom. And he questioned Yamaraja with all anger. Why did you do? On what estimation I was given this punishment? What is your calculation? That time Yamaraja said, actually, my dear sage, when you are a small child, you took a straw and killed an ant in the same way. When you are a child, you took a straw and killed the ant in the same way. You pierced the ant from his mouth to anus. Therefore, the same punishment was declared to you. Manduka Muni became very angry. I was innocent at that time. I was a child. I was unaware. What kind of Yamaraja you are? What kind of Dharmajna you are? Dharmaraja you are? Hence, you should be cursed. Like that, Manduka Muni cursed him. Take birth in the earthly planet as Shudra. Because his knowledge is not up to the mark, so you should become Shudra. So this was blessings in disguise to Vidura, to to the Yamaraja, who became Vidura, because he got an opportunity to associate with the Supreme Personality of Goddess Sri Krishna. This is the great thing. Blessings in disguise. So he took birth as a son of the maidservant of Vyasadeva. When the Vichitra Virya did not have children, Satyavati had called her earlier son Vyasadeva to produce progeny in Ambika and Ambalika. So Ambika, she had a maid servant. That maid servant son was Vidura, and Ambika's son was Pandu, Ambalika's son was Dhritarashtra. So this is how the Pandavas and Kauravas, Dhritarashtra and Pandu have taken birth. Since he is a maid servant son, he was not considered as a Kshatriya. In the Dwapara Yuga, these rules were different, very strict, where it's a society was, order of the society was different. So he was not given the kingdom, but he was very, very close to his brothers, Pandu and Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra considered him as a minister, and he was very dear to Bhishma and Drona too. He was very intelligent. He used to give very good advice, and that was the position of Vidura. So this Vidura, since he had so much affection to his brother Dhritarashtra, he always would think of welfare of the Dhritarashtra. So he used to give good advice. He said, look there, my dear brother, Pandava's side Krishna is there. Jayasta Panduputranam Esha Pakshe Janardanaha. In their Paksha, Krishna is there. They will win this war. And your son is foolish. He is arrogant. He is doing irreligious things. You must control your son Duryodhana and give the rightful share to Pandavas. This is unethical, what your son is doing and what you are doing. Please do not do this. When Vidura is giving such a good advice to Dhritarashtra, the Duryodhana became very angry. So Duryodhana has insulted Vidura. So Vidura took this opportunity to go on a pilgrimage. Here we understand the purpose of pilgrimage. We also go for pilgrimage, but we should not go to pilgrimage just to see some places and come back. We should go to pilgrimage to hear about Lord, hear about Bhagavatam, hear about the great devotees of the Lord. You should hear Krishna Katha in the pilgrimage and come back. You should change your heart at the pilgrimage and come back. Not to just see some sightseeing and come back from the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage is meant for the transformation. It is not just a travel. It is a transformation. So the Vidura knew this very well. So he went on pilgrimage during the war time, Kurukshetra war, and he took this opportunity to hear from sage Maitreya and return to Hastinapura. So this is the background. So with this background, I'll further explain. So Vidura returned to Hastinapura, having learned the goal of self, Atmano Gatim, from Maitreya during his pilgrimage. So this is the purpose of pilgrimage. Atmano Gatim. What is Atma Gati? One should think of. The modern civilization is teaching us how to take care of the body. But taking care of the body does not help you to develop Atma Gatim, real goal of life. Body is temporary. So now, as the Vidura has come, so everybody became very happy because Yudhishthira, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, Kunti, they all knew how Vidura was very, very, very favorable. He was a uncle of Pandavas and he would give justice. He's a sober person, a person with the religious principles. So when they saw Vidura, Vidura had left earlier. They never thought Vidura will come back. When they saw Vidura, they were so happy. They immediately, hurriedly went to the gate and received him. They hugged him. They paid obeisances to him. They welcomed him and cried out of affection. After a long time, they're seeing, so there was tears in Yudhishthira's eyes and all the Pandavas' eyes. Offered a nice seat and reception. Then Vidura was sumptuously fed. Lot of items, nice prasadam was given to Vidura. And then they told, now you take rest. Comfortably seated. After the rest, after the sufficient rest, after he was fed, after he was comfortable, then they started talking. See, this is how a guest has to be received. Atiti Devo Bhava. We keep saying that. Atithi means who comes without seeing Tithi, without any notice. Somebody tells and comes, such and such Tithi I will come, such as the day I come. He is coming with the informed notice. But when a guest comes without informing, then it's called Atithi. These days, Atithi is very difficult to find because telephone, mobile phones are there. We immediately come to know. Everybody inform us before coming. And we also tell them, please inform before coming. But if you remember, many of you will remember the days of no mobile phone. So used to, people just used to come to our home without informing. And sometimes some crow used to make some sound. People say, mother, somebody is coming today. So this is how, by observing the nature, they would feel, okay, somebody is coming today. But Atithi. And as an Atithi comes, especially somebody is very dear, very nicely received like this. Not as soon as some Atithi comes, en bandaddo, en beko, somebody speak like. When the devotees and sannyasis go also, some people are very, they ask, en bandaddo, what you want, why you came? Not like that. One has to be received very well, not to ask anything. First, make them comfortable, give them prasadam, make them be seated. Any Atithi comes to your home, later you start talking. That's how they started talking. So they were very happy to exchange all their things. Now, all that is done. That day is getting over. So everybody went back to their rooms for taking rest. And it was in the night. Yudhishthira, Adi, all the Pandavas went to their rooms. Kunti went, Sanjaya went. Everybody went to their rooms in the palace to take that day's rest. Now Vidura went to the room of Dhritarashtra. So, before that, I just forget to tell. Yudhishthira recollects Vidura's protection, how Vidura has protected them. And now another thing when the guest comes is, we always should make them feel good. How they helped us. How this person is very significant in one's life. So Yudhishthira recollect Vidura's protection. Yudhishthira also inquires about Vidura's travel. Bhavat vidha bhagavatas tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirti kurvanti tirthani swanta hastena gadhabhrita. This is very important verse. Yudhishthira is saying, you yourself is great Mahatma. My dear uncle Vidura, you are a great Mahatma. When you go to Tirtha Kshetra, you yourself is pure. And you go to the place of pilgrimage, which is meant for making somebody pure. But sometimes when so many sinful people go to Tirtha Kshetras, they spoil the Tirtha Kshetra. So sometimes when the great sages go like this to the Tirtha Kshetra, even the Tirtha Kshetra becomes purified by the presence of these great personalities. Tirthi kurvanti tirthani means that. They purify even the pilgrimage places. This was one of the concerns of Ganga Mata. When Ganga Mata wanted to come to the earth, she had an apprehension. I can come to earthly planet, but in the earth, so many sinful people will come and take bath in me, and I will become, polluted by their karma, their sinful reactions. How can I get purified? Ganga Devi asked this question. The answer given for that question is, don't worry. When the great personalities, pure devotees, Mahabhagavatas, like Vidura, when they come and take bath in you, all your sins will get purified. So they even purify Ganga Maya. Ganga Maya has come to purify everybody. But there are great personalities like Vidura. Tirti kurvanti tirtani swantahastena gadhabhrita. So meaning, my dear Lord, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. They're called holy places personified. Wherever they go, it becomes holy place. Wherever such devotees travel, that is called holy place. That becomes pilgrimage site. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You're always thinking of Lord Krishna in your heart. So you turn all the places into places of pilgrimage. So wherever you go, that becomes purified. That place becomes purified. Such personality you are. So Yudhishthira asked, how are the Dwaraka doing, serving Krishna? And Vidura explained everything except one thing. Vidura did not say the annihilation of Dwaraka, which has already happened. He did not say this. He did not say about it. Satyam bruyat, priya bruyat. Satyam apriyam na bruyat. He just kept quiet because he is waiting for the right time Yudhishthira to know, not now. He kept quiet. He told all other things. Now, Yudhishthira. So now, as I said, all these discussions have happened. They spoke. Yudhishthira and Pandavas went to their rooms for taking rest. Kunti went to her room. Sanjaya went to his room. Everybody dispersed. That time, Vidura went to the room of Dhritarashtra. Vidura, respectfully treated by Pandavas, stayed for some time, the benefit of Dhritarashtra. So, Vidura, as I told you, was a Yamaraja. So, now when he is here as a Vidura, a Devata called Aryama has taken the temporary position of Yama. Now he says, Evam gruheshu saktanam pramattanam tadiyaha atyakramat avidnyataha kalaha paramadustaraha. Kalaha paramadustaraha, insurmountable time, imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs, are always engrossed in their thought. The people who are not doing any Krishna conscious activities, people whose mouth Krishna's name never be chanted, they never chant Krishna's holy name, they never hear Bhagavatam, they hear Bhagavad Gita, they are simply interested in money and the family and all engrossed sense gratification. Little time they get, they do sense gratification. And such people, the Kala is going to force them. Kalosmi lokakshaya bhrit. So in a very interesting purport here, Srila Prabhupada writes, I want to show you that purport today for this particular verse about Kala. See here, Srila Prabhupada ji writes this. He wrote this in Vrindavan when he was a sannyasi and he was left his business, left his home for the purpose of the benefit of the people. He was staying in the Radha Damodar temple and writing the purport for Srimad Bhagavatam in 1962-61, around that time. Srila Prabhupada is writing the purport. So some people are thinking, I am now happy. I have everything in order. My bank balance is quite enough. I can now give my children enough estate. I am now successful. The poor beggar sannyasis depend on God, but they come to beg from me. Therefore, I am more than the supreme God. These are some of the thoughts which engross the insanely attached householder who is blind to passing of eternal time. Sometimes some people ask this question. They say, they make mockery of the sadhus. They say, okay, you are depending on God, no? Then why do you want money? Oh, God also want money, is it? They ask this kind of questions. Very unfortunate, they do not know sadhus do not require his money. If he gives money, he will get benefited. Not the sadhu, not the Krishna. Our life, the sadhu's life will go on by Krishna's mercy. With that person gives money or not gives money. He is simply envious. He is thinking. So, but this verse is saying they're blind to the passing of eternal time. They don't know time is passing. Our duration of life is measured. No one is able to enhance it even by a second against the scheduled time ordained by the Supreme Will. Such valuable time, especially for the human being, should be cautiously spent because even a second passed away imperceptibly cannot be replaced, even in exchange for thousands of golden coins amassed by hard labor. Every second of the human life is meant for making ultimate solution to the problems of life. That is repetition of birth and death and revolving in the cycle of 8.4 million different species of life. So the material body, which is subjected to birth and death and disease and old age, is cause of all suffering of the living being. Otherwise, living being is eternal. He is never born, nor does he ever die. Foolish persons forget this problem. They do not know at all how to solve the problems of life, but become engrossed in the temporary family affairs, not knowing that eternal time is passing away imperceptibly and their measured duration of life is diminishing every second. Without any solution to the big problem, namely repetition of birth and death, disease and old age, this is called illusion, Maya. So Vidura, with this understanding, talking to now Dhritarashtra, he first chastises his elder brother Dhritarashtra. He says, "Dear Rajan," is a sarcastic address. He is no more Raja. He is an old man in the palace of Hastinapura. By the grace of Pandavas and Yudhishthira, he is getting respect. Nobody else would respect. Okay. Please get out here immediately. Please get out of here immediately. Just see how fearful time has overtaken you. He's waking up. He's waking up the Dhritarashtra. This frightful situation cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. This old age which you are going through, it cannot be solved by anybody else. My Lord is addressing Dhritarashtra. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time Kala that has approached us all. All of us become old. Kalosmi, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, I am only Kala. So we have become old by Kala's power. There is no remedy for this. Whoever is under the influence of the Supreme Kala must surrender his most dear life. Nobody is exempted, sir. How powerful you may be, how strong you may be. You know, the previous president of the United States of America, because of old age, he could not contest election. Initially, they announced he'll be the contestant against Donald Trump. But the country started making mockery of him. He was not able to have control over his body. He's not able to control his mind because of the old age. He may be having a desire and power and party with him, but his body is not allowing to become again the president of United States. Though he had the support of Democratic Party, and the whole US, many 50% of the people wanted him back as a president. But his body is not allowing. He has to surrender to the force of Kala. And what to speak of other things such as wealth, honor, children, land, and home. Some years back, I went and met one of the ex-minister of Karnataka. He was also 2 times MLA and the minister. I had gone to him to invite him for some festival to his home. And he has become old now. Generally, the ministers and politicians, there's a big queue in front of their homes when you go. It's very difficult to get their time. But this man was sitting alone, nobody was there. So he has a big house. He is a past minister. So we went to his home. He welcomed us, "Oh, Swamiji, come." Then he started speaking about his life, his glories, what all he has done in his life. And sometimes what he spoke, it repeated again and again. We were tolerantly hearing because he helped us in the past. And we gave him prasadam. Then he thought, these sadhus have come, we should give something. Inside his home, his family members were there. He shouted, "Can you please get some water?" No water came. Nobody bothered to give attention to what he is asking. Then he went inside home to get water. He is old man. We said, "No, no, not required." He went inside and told and came, "Get some water." Still water did not come. Then I was thinking, very powerful man, the minister and hundreds of people running around him. "Sir, sir, sir, sign here." What is his condition? His own family members he's asking, "Get a glass of water for a guest." They're not getting, and he can't do anything about it. So this is called Kala, the time taking over everything. And whatever, not only life, the wealth and honor and children and land and home, everything will be dissolved in the eternal time. The most powerful people in this world, the Alexander the Great and Hitler and Napoleon and Gandhi and many presidents and prime ministers of different countries and world leaders, most influential people on this earth, where are they now? Who remembers them? But we give so much value. Dhritarashtra, the Vidura is saying, all your relatives have died in the war. Your body is overtaken by invalidity. You're living in another's home. Do you understand, Dhritarashtra? You become old, invalid. You're living in somebody else's home. It's no more your home. Your children all died. You're not only that, you're blind from birth. You are never able to see the world. You're blind. Now you're deaf. You're not able to hear properly because of your old age. And with the shortened memory, and you're not able to remember what you spoke yesterday, what you're thinking, and your memory has become very weak. You lose the teeth. The teeth has become very weak. Teeth started falling. Your digestion is weak. You're not able to digest what is eaten. You're coughing mucus. Alas, how powerful are the hopes of the living beings to continue his life. Vidura is saying, alas, how much the soul, the Atma which has not got enlightened with the Krishna consciousness, the Atma which has no idea what is the goal of life, who is Krishna, who am I, how much they keep hopes of enjoyment. One more story, one more incident I'll tell you. This time I'll tell the name of one person. Few years back, 1 or 2, 3 years back, for some reason, we went and met the former Prime Minister of our country, Mr. Deve Gowda. I think that time he was already 87. Now he's 91, 92, something like that. Very old, almost in a wheelchair. Very, very old. You can make out he's hardly able to speak. He's made to sit in a chair, but very powerful. Hmm. His son is a minister, his family members are politicians. He was very powerful at that time. Now it may be little less. So he went for something to ask from him. And in his desk, where he is sitting next to that, there was a book. That book was learning Hindi. He was learning Hindi in that age. And we asked him, "You're learning Hindi?" He said, yeah, you see, I am in central government. I need to, when I have to work, I have to do a lot of things. And if I have to really have impact in the center, I need to speak in Hindi. Hence I am learning Hindi, he said. I was thinking, in this age, he's supposed to read Bhagavad Gita. He's reading Hindi and he wants to become more powerful in the central government. Anyway, the Vidura is saying, alas, what a hope after hope a living entity keeps when there is no Krishna consciousness. Now he says most powerful sentence. You're living like a dog taking food from Bhima. You know why he's saying this? The Bhima is the one who killed all his children. Bhima has killed. And that person is giving you food. What kind of life you're leading? No need to live on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by fire and poison. You tried to kill them by fire and poison. And their wife you insulted, whose wealth you stole, despite your unwillingness to die at the cost of honor. You don't want to die, but death is approaching you, my dear Dhritarashtra. Dhira, one who goes to remote place, one who goes to the remote place and freed from the obligation, quits his material body when it has become useless. Should understand the value of life. Yasvakat parato veha jata nirveda atmavan hrudi krutva harim gehat pravrajet sa narottamaha. He is certainly first class man, Narottama, Nara Uttama, first class man, who awakens and understands either by himself. One understand by himself, yes, my value of life should not be eating and sleeping. Or from others, somebody else tell us the falsity of the misery of this material world, thus leaves home, thus understands that I should not be attached to home and depends fully on the Supreme Personality of Godhead residing within his heart. So who understand this Krishna consciousness gives up the attachment to this world before we give up this body. He's a first class person, Narottama. So adopt the path of Dhira before Kali Yuga approaches. Vidura says, now you adopt this path, no. Give up this material attachment. Now Kali Yuga is coming. Krishna has disappeared. Kali Yuga is going to enter. Then it's more difficult to go back to Krishna. No dharma in the world. And before that, you please wind up. So Dhritarashtra, enlightened by Vidura, was fully convinced and he left home that day night itself. All the Pandavas have slept. Everybody is sleeping. They're in the palace of Hastinapura. That night itself, Ratro Ratri, they all left. Vidura, neither Vidura is interested in the palace. He could have stayed back very nicely. Pandavas were so happy to have Vidura. Probably comfortably, he could have stayed back. Son, children, grandchildren, pota, poti, and enjoy with them old age. Like a strong family man, he should have stayed. No. He also left. Dhritarashtra also left. Gandhari also left. Chaste Gandhari followed her husband. Next day, when Yudhishthira came to pay obeisances, Yudhishthira had one ritual, his principle. Morning, after his morning puja, he would come and take blessings of the elders, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. He came there and he discovers that they are not there. He becomes very regretful. Arey, where have they gone, my uncle and aunt? Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, he was regretful. And he went and asked Sanjaya. Sanjaya Uvacha. The Sanjaya is the one who is very dear to Dhritarashtra. He asked. Sanjaya also was aggrieved and responded. Sanjaya said, I do not know your uncle and aunt. I have been cheated by those great souls. They should have told me. I also would have gone them. They don't not even inform me also. They left. Sanjaya said. So now Yudhishthira was very, very shattered. He does not know what to do. Where have they gone? That time, the great sage Narada comes. Narada comes and shatters Yudhishthira's lamentation and illusion. He's lamenting. So then Narada Muni arrived and the Pandavas respectfully welcomed him. Yudhishthira asked Narada Muni about his uncles and aunt. Narada Muni answers with a proper philosophical. Before answering, where is uncle and aunt? Narada Rishi explains what is life. He says, everyone is under Lord's control. Nobody is free. Everybody is under the control of the Supreme Lord. Just like the cow is bound by the rope through its noose, every living entity is controlled by the laws of nature. Just like player sets up and disperses the playthings by one's own sweet will, the Lord can create, dissolve, pralaya, shrishti, the Lord can do anything. Lamentation in separation. You're feeling separation from Dhritarashtra. It is only because of bodily concept. Dhritarashtra is not body, he is a soul, he is Atma. So you should not worry about it. Give up your anxiety. You are in ignorance. Kala karma gunadhino deho yam pancha bhautikaha. This deha is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, panchabhutas. Don't be attached to this. Like this, Narada Muni says, please focus on the Supreme Law. Don't worry about all these things. Understand Krishna's mission. Patiently follow his plan. Therefore, let me tell you, my dear Yudhishthira, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari and Vidura have gone to Himalayas. In the Himalaya, there is a place called Saptasrota, where the Ganga river is divided into 7 for the satisfaction of Sapta Rishis. They have gone there. On the banks of Saptasrota, Dhritarashtra is now engaged in Ashtanga Yoga by bathing 3 times daily in the morning, noon and evening. 3 times he would take bath, by performing Agnihotra, by drinking only water. This way is controlling his senses and doing tapasya. By this tapasya, 5 days from now, Dhritarashtra will give up his body by own mystic power and turn into ashes. This was possible in the age of Dwapara Yuga. So with this power of Dhritarashtra, his tapasya, he will, by his mystic power, he will turn his body into ashes. To that fire, Gandhari will enter and Vidura will continue his pilgrimage. He will never return. He has gone for pilgrimage. Saying this, Narada Muni ascended. Narayana, Narayana. He left. And Maharaja Yudhishthira kept his instruction in his heart, was freed from all lamentation because he understood what is actually life in this world, meaning of life. This way, Yudhishthira continued to rule the kingdom. Dhritarashtra has quit the home, and lot of lessons to learn in the short story of Dhritarashtra living. So now the next, Dhritarashtra has left. What happens next in Srimad Bhagavatam? So next is Today we were discussing the 13th chapter. Next chapter, disappearance of Lord Krishna. Next chapter explains the Lord Krishna is leaving. So Lord Krishna, how is he leaving? What is happening in Dwaraka? This we'll hear disappearance of the Lord in the next week's session. With this, I conclude. Anybody has any question, you can ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Dhritarashtra was given advice by
Vidura.
Vidura that you have to focus on the Supreme Lord. Instead of following his advice, why did he take up Ashtanga Yoga and made his body burnt into ashes?
Ashtanga Yoga is also focusing on Supreme. If you read in the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, Krishna explains in Ashtanga Yoga, in that process, they control the pranavayu. After doing the pranavayu control, one has to focus on the Supreme. Matparaha, it is said. So, the process to focus on the Supreme Lord, quick process which Dhritarashtra took was Ashtanga Yoga, which was possible by him, such a powerful person. And in that age, there is also a process to go back to Krishna.
But it is not as powerful as Bhakti Yoga.
There is also a Bhakti Yoga. There is also a Bhakti Yoga, but just like you fast on Ekadashi, it increases your Bhakti. You take some austerity in Bhakti Yoga, that gives you, like that, Ashtanga Yoga is the process to purify. Purify and depend on Krishna. Fast purification. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he stood on one leg and in 6 months he could see Narayana. 6 months. And in 6 months, every month he reduced his eating. Initially, he used to take some leaves. Then he used to take only water. Then he used to take only air. Like this, he did a great tapasya. So those people were given with such bodies. They can do such things. In 5 days, the Dhritarashtra is able to go back to Godhead. Look at his power. So, but in Kali Yuga, the bodies are not so strong. Hence, we are not taking such austerities. But everybody is doing bhakti to the Lord only. Through Ashtanga Yoga also you have to do bhakti. Through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, any yoga you take, finally one has to do bhakti only. But bhakti, the process which Dhritarashtra adopted is Ashtanga Yoga, which he wanted to accelerate his going back to God.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will conclude here. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki,
Jai.
Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhu